PC customers today. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A section on the Teams link to post any questions. I would also like to introduce Damien Zellwinger. Damien is our Chief Product Officer and is also based in Brisbane with me. So Damien will be covering off the demo part of our session and will also, talk about some of our features. So thanks again for joining today and look forward to introducing you to Velixo. We have been around since 2017. What is our solution? We solve reporting, budgeting, and data automation in Excel. So today we're going to introduce you to an Excel add-in, and this is the core product that we have. We are a multi-award winner, and we are the best performing app across a number of ecosystems from an ERP perspective. So as you can see, we have won a number of awards in the Acumatica space. We are best performing app in Sage. But today we're very excited to be able to showcase our Business Central solution for you. We have a global team that supports customers and partners across all the time zones. And we're very excited about this. As I mentioned, myself and Damien come to you from Brisbane today in Australia. And we're working closely with all of the partners across the Asia Pacific region in bringing Business Central solutions together. We are SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, and this is an important milestone and aspect of our solution. Whenever you talk about a cloud product with SaaS, vendors, making sure that we're handling data in the cloud securely and all of the compliance that goes together with that. We love to talk about our customers, over 3,000 customers today using our solution across many countries. And we work very closely with partners here. Partners are important in the ecosystem. They are the experts when it comes to knowing your business, implementing Business Central for you. You've spent some time together, so we really are, excited to having a partnership with these partners. We are top rated on the G2 as a leader, and we feel like this platform where customers get to tell us how much value they get from our solution is really exciting. So it is about you guys today in the room. Thank you for joining us, and hope we can show you some exciting new capability.
Thank you, Tony. Good morning, everyone. My name is Damien Zellwinger. I think Tony introduced me. I just wanted to add on top of what Tony has just said that, so Velixo has been around and has support for quite a few ERPs. We know ERPs very well. And myself and Tony have previous experience with Business Central in a different life. So we're very excited to bring Velixo to this ecosystem. I will only have two more slides actually before going into demo and focusing on the demo for the rest of that presentation. I just wanted to cover the challenges that Business Central users face. The first one is with reporting, financial reporting especially. The tools that are available in Business Central in financial reporting have many gaps that we've seen many users and partners actually report to us. And to give you a bit of a story as well, it is our partners that have pushed us to support this Business Central integration, including CRT Insights. So the typical challenge around financial reporting has been, I can't achieve the reports that I want. I can't format the reports that I want. I have difficulties analyzing my transactions, combining dimensions together, or collaborating and sharing reports. So this is the first challenge. The second challenge is, the first thing that you do when you have those challenges, and as probably a finance person in your organization, you want to work with Excel. So Business Central has this great tool in editing Excel. It works well for a couple of things, but it's not a reporting solution. It's not very good for reporting purposes. It's not built for reporting. It doesn't have drill down. It lacks flexibility around calculations, formula, and also it doesn't support Mac devices, Apple devices. So you'd often still export to Excel. And we talk about this copy and waste, that the next thing that you have to do is do the same thing with because your data is obsolete. Challenge number 3 is the difficulty of entering data and data entry process friction. So manually entering data is time consuming in any ERP, and Business Central is no different. There are limited options for mass editing and mass upload of data, and editing Excel solves a part of this, but it has strict formats and limitations. Challenge number 3 is around consolidation of companies. If you've used financial reporting, you know that this is limited to the one company. And although you can create a consolidation company in BC, it is then limited to aggregated data and you still can't drill down to the underlying transactions. There's a range of limitations around that Velixo fills in terms of those gaps. And we fill those gaps in the tool that everyone loves, Microsoft Excel. So we give you that augmented Excel experience in a modern Excel add-in that is supported on Excel 365, so Excel online, Mac, and desktop, Excel on Windows. And we give you a real-time reporting experience. So everything that we query out of BC is up to date, real-time. And we also allow you to drill down to the underlying transactions in Excel and also to drill back to the ERP from those transactions. Very importantly, what differentiates us from BC itself and also from the competition is that Velixo is not only about reading data, it's also about pushing data back to Business Central. So think of scenarios like budgeting, allocations, and creating journal entries for a range of different scenarios. I will show you all of those features today. Then, from a reporting perspective, the ability to consolidate your multiple companies, or by the way, your multiple tenants, if you have more than one Business Central tenant or instance, is something that we fully support. And not just for the GL, but also from any object, any subledger data through just one function. So using one function, you'll understand that better in a few. You can combine multiple companies and multiple tenants. Overall, Velixo is a self-service tool that enables you. You may be an operational analyst or an operational manager or a CFO or within the finance department. We enable you with the tools that you already know, Microsoft Excel. And on top of this, we've got pre-built templates to make your life much easier. We come with many other tools that are embedded in the product for distributing reports, for slicing, and leveraging also Excel copilots and the AI insights of Microsoft. So without spending more time on slides, I will now share my screen and open Microsoft Excel and show you how to get to install Velixo, first of all, as a first-time experience. And secondly, I will want to give you the design experience of working with Velixo. And then I will show you all the features that come with Velixo, including our templates. So first of all, I will jump to my browser and show you. I will type app source, go directly to that link there. So this is Microsoft app source or Microsoft Marketplace, as they call it now. And I will type Velixo. So what you'll see there are two different applications. So this one, you'd install that from Excel, from within Excel, or from Microsoft App Source. This is the Velixo NX Excel add-in. And this one is the extension of Business Central that you can install from within Business Central or directly from App Source here. So this extension enables a couple of features of the Velixo platform around functions that we give you. And they're very optimized for those functions. So, and it's a requirement to have those two applications installed. Once you have that installed, you will be able to see that Velixo icon in your home ribbon. And once you click it, it will let you create a new connection to your Business Central. It will also give you a Velixo NX tab, a new tab in your Excel. And on top of this, it will come with a range of functions, of new functions that extends the standard functions of Excel. So let's go ahead and try a few of those functions. I will connect to Business Central, to a demonstration instance as my Velixo Microsoft account, and I will connect to my sandbox environment and select one of my sandbox companies. Once you've done that, connecting using your Microsoft account, you can start querying your Business Central in real time using functions. So this is what we'll do. I will start by selecting this expand account range function, and BC was the name of my connection, and that's all I need to return the list of accounts in my Business Central. The next thing you might want to do is return the names of those accounts. So we've got another function for this in bc.accountName, where you would also specify the connection here and reference an account from that list. Now, I could do this and extend to all of those cells manually, but I don't want to do this. I want to reference the entire range in a dynamic way so that all of my names would return. So this is a standard Microsoft Excel features for functions that Velixo also fully supports with our function. Lastly, you may not want to see those headers or totals. So what you may want to see, what you may want to do is specify P here for account type, which means posting. And if you're not sure, what you can do is directly go and click that function to go to our documentation to see all of the information about that function that will give you, not for this one, but for many others, we have proper scenarios and examples. So it's very easy to use, fully documented and supported. So next, what do we want to do here? We want to probably return a closing balance or a turnover from a specific date or up to a specific date. So we'll go to, let's do this. And we would want to use the BC closing balance for that very simple example and reference that account in the same way, reference this date, and that's it. And press enter, and then it will return my balance for all of those accounts. Now there's a range. You would have seen that there's many more parameters in our functions, and this is where I stop with this new sheet and jump to another demo file, which I will keep using for the rest of that presentation. So this is essentially the very same report that I was building, right? In here, we've got the accounts, we've got the name, we've got the closing balance, same functions. The only thing that I'm doing extra here is specifying this dimension area. Those are the things that our functions can do, obviously, is reference any kind of dimension and filter data by dimension as well. So we got this list, and we can filter by specific dimension values. And as you can see, the data refreshes automatically, and it's all real time again. Okay, the same thing for dates. If you were to change this, all of the numbers update automatically. We don't need to press any refresh button in Velixo unless this is a query. But when you change a filter or some data that the query or function references, the data automatically refresh. So very much a self-service tool, as you can see. The other thing that I wanted to show you, and that's a good example to show you this, is how you can manipulate any kind of ranges of accounts using expressions. So in this example, I'm returning all of the chart of accounts. So all of those accounts starting from 1 and ending to numbers starting with 9. Okay. So let's say that we only want to return those accounts starting with 1. You can do all of those things. So in that function now, I also do have a reference to this cell here where I can use any kind of expression to filter my list of accounts. So I could specify a range of accounts. So from that very first account to, let's say, 1340. All right, doing that in real time again. What you could do is, it's not just additive. You could also subtract or remove an account from that list using the negative character and doing -3012. That would remove that big number there. Or you can also add new accounts. So let's add it back. No, that wasn't a good example. We don't support this specific scenario, but you got the idea. You can use ranges like I've used that. You can add accounts, or you can remove accounts from a range as well. So extremely flexible, and I will show you that in a second. We use that throughout our pre-built templates, and our customers use that pretty heavily. So let's move to an actual dashboard that is combined of a classic financial statement with a couple of charts. With Velixo, every chart are standard Excel charts and can reference Velixo data. Since the Velixo data is updating in real time, everything is fully dynamic. Those charts, if I change this date here, would update also in real time. There's no data in that case. Let's go back to this. And you can combine every single feature of Excel with Velixo features. You know, if I were to click on this specific cell, you'd see that we used a different function that we haven't used before, the bc.turnover function, and it is combined with standard Excel functions. So Velixo essentially is native to Excel. It's a cell-based approach, so any kind of layouts are possible with Velixo in Excel, and this is one of the reasons financial people actually absolutely love Velixo. There's one more dimension in that example where you could select extra dimension values there. The one thing I wanted to show you is how those account expressions are used in our templates to actually make them fully generic and how they can work with your data. So this is an example where this is just text, you know, so we can achieve exactly the financial structure that we want. And what we're saying is that we want that text to map to that range of accounts starting from numbers 6 and 1. You could do it this way. So if you haven't managed your account subcategories very well in Business Central, you can just work with account numbers and account ranges, right? If you have properly set up your subcategories, you're happy with that, then you should absolutely use those account subcategories because that will make it you'll have less maintenance involved with your reports if you just reference the specific subcategories that you want for your financial statement rows. Our functions are fully supporting of account categories, subcategories, or account ranges. So you can use any of those or that data. Okay, so we've covered financial statements, how you typically configure that, how you can achieve things, how you can filter by dimension, how dynamic it is, and how real time that is. The last thing, so this is actually an actual template that we have. I'll show you the list in a few seconds. The thing I wanted to show you in this actual template is how, using that very same principle that I showed earlier with account ranges or subcategories, how we've also added dimensions in our templates so that you can, from those templates, add more or less rows in your statements filtered by dimensions. I believe this is extremely hard to achieve in financial reporting, if at all possible. And, for example, if I needed to create a brand new row under those already 3 rows that are filtered by that customer group and say, I want my sales revenue filtered by dimension A, dimension B, and dimension value C, you'd simply add a row and then start selecting, specific dimension values. This is typically how you do it. And it's extremely easy to start from the Velixo templates. Okay, now how to get to the Velixo templates. You go Help and then click Download Report Templates. That will redirect you to Help portal, where you can see all of the templates we have packaged. I will show you something that we have just released. It's new from last week, and our new release, Velixo 2025.11 from the 11th for November. If you type app.velixo.com portal templates, now Velixo also comes with a web application on the site that is supporting the Velixo Excel add-in. And one of the features that we've added to Velixo in that SaaS portal is our templates gallery. So in our templates gallery, if I log in, I will be able to download all of the templates that we have available for Business Central. You can filter that by Business Central, filter that by specific modules, and then view the articles for the templates. So let's have a look at the AP Aging Summary template. As you can see, it's fully documented, and it's one of our templates. Other thing you can do is obviously download the actual templates and view some of its metadata, which might be interesting, especially for version, when it was last updated, if you want to download the new version, etc. So this is the Velixo templates gallery, where you can access templates and the absolute latest version of them. Okay, let's go back to Excel now. And some of the templates that I wanted to show you today before moving on to other features are the aging summary and the cash flow forecast templates, which are same thing, are fully customizable. They're generic, they can fit your data. They would dynamically list all of your dimensions. This is not fixed, this is calculated. They would also dynamically expand by month based on your as of date. As you can see, this is a template that switches between actuals and budgets depending on the month of the year. So if I were to select May here, it's moved from March to May, and it's updating all of the data and columns as well for that fiscal year. Now, this one, the AR Aging Summary, and that will be my transition to the next feature as well. It uses a couple of features of Velixo. The first thing that it uses is a new function. So Velixo is not only about single functions that return one values, it's also about functions that return tables or a multi-column range of values. So you can query specific objects, such as AR invoices, for example. So if I expand this, it would be using, for that specific case, that object, and it would be using the BC query object against the Business Central API. And I will cover how you can filter, how you can select specific columns, etc. in a few. So with Velixo, as you can see, you can query multiple objects and combine them together, and then use standard features, standard Excel features such as pivot table to combine that data together and use your pivot table feature, standard Excel with charts, and that allows you to create some pretty amazing dashboards, all in Excel, all real time, all dynamically updated. This was my transition to the query feature. I'll go back to my demo file and to this query example sheet there. So one of the first questions I'm sure you'll have, and maybe I've asked already in the chat, is what type of data can you access out of BC? So Velixo today supports 3 different APIs. We can access data from 3 different APIs. The first one is what we call the common API, but it's the API v2 Business Central that is fully documented online and is available at that link. And this is also where you can see all of the endpoints that this API supports, including column names and stuff like this. Okay. And if we were to look at all of those objects, then this is it. We have a specific functions. I will unhide. That was my trick to make that demonstrable. We have a specific function that can expand all of the ranges that a specific API can query. So it's also in Excel. It's very easy to use. And we can also query objects from web services. So if you have other extensions installed, other apps, other add-ons, and they've published their own web services, you would use the web service API maybe to connect to those. So that list, as you can see, has just updated, and you can use any of those objects for your reporting. Let me just show you the design experience, what you can do with the BC query function. So let's go ahead and query that purchase invoices endpoint object. So we can specify, we just reference cells like any other Excel functions, and let's go and only do that. So just a query of that table, returning absolutely everything. Very simple, as you can see, only 2 parameters. You just need to know the object name, which you can get from that expand function. What you may want to do is actually filter the data or choose specific columns. So I've gone ahead and already I've listed the columns that I want to return here. So I will specify that cell. And in real time, this is what that returns, only those columns for as I specified here in that parameter. And what you can do as well is filter the data. So this is a purchase invoice order catalog list. We've got close, we've got fully paid, and open records. So let's go ahead and only return those records that are open. To do that, we want to use the status column and the open, got a few here, and the open status value. So the right expression is this, but you don't have to know anything about that expression. You can also use the BC query filter function, which will generate that OData expression. OData is an API standard. You only need to know the column name and the value, and that generates the filter expression, which we can then reference right there. So that should return only my open purchase orders. And the other feature that we have that is really, really cool is the ability to not just return queries data inside in a dynamic range like we've seen on the screen, but directly to an Excel table. And this has a lot of benefits. Okay, so it's mirrored the data of my query into an Excel table. The benefits are that this is data. This is data that you can update here, and I can do this, but it's not going to write back that data, not unless I insert a write back formula, which I will cover in a second. But from a data quality, data inserts, or fixing wrong data, fixing missing data, etc., you will want to work with the query feature and the write back feature to edit data and then push that back with no restrictions whatsoever. You can add new columns as well. You can column there to that table, and it will keep the data that is mapped to specific field here, even if I refresh. So this is how you work with Excel tables and Velixo and that query feature. Examples of that query feature. Further examples are, with query feature, you can build customer invoice listing. It's not limited to just financial data. You can query any operational data with Velixo. And this is an example where we query the transactions from the GL. This is a standard template as well, and give you a way to filter very easily by dimensions, ranges of accounts, date ranges in a very easy way. So this is available in Business Central in the analysis view and in analysis mode. But given all of your financial statements would already be in Excel, you would want to do your reconciliation using that very same feature here, and something that is also in Excel. And the analysis view of Business Central is honestly quite frustrating to me as a user. So I'm sure it will be for you in the way that they work with dimensions. So it's a little bit everywhere. It doesn't work for me. So I'm sure you will find lots of great benefits to that. The last thing I wanted to cover from a reporting perspective before moving to write back and then tools, the features that are in support of our reporting and write back features, how you can actually not just report, but actually analyze the data by drilling into your data on any cells. So if I go back to this specific report here, I can right click and select drill down, or I can go with the drill down option in the ribbon. But I can not only do this on specific cells, I can also do this on totals. And as you can see, that total expression is just a simple Excel sum. There's no Velixo function in there, but Velixo still manages to work out which information it should give you in a what we call a drill down. So it's just created a drill down sheet, and we've aggregated data segmented by your dimensions for the date range and the data that we clicked, the specific accounts that we clicked. We expand that. We've got a few extra information, and I want to show you how to drill back to Business Central from that aggregated view. So if you want to continue your analysis, you'd click View Transactions, which will redirect you to BC, to the analysis view in analysis mode of Business Central. And you can then continue your analysis there. Okay, very cool. So this is Velixo drill down that creates new sheets. And we've got a feature to clean all of the sheets optionally when you close a workbook, so that you don't have to do what I'm just about to do, deleting what just got created. Okay, my next feature to demo is journal writeback. So journal writeback is a function and a writeback template as well that you can use to enter data and push data back to Business Central. So let's go ahead and do new sheets for a journal transaction writeback. And from there, you can input the data that you want to push back to BC. So it's got only a few columns, as you can see. The GL journal entry has many more. Those columns can be easily added depending on your needs. So you'd simply add a column with the right name or not, and reference the specific column. So I'll show you an example that I've already filled. It's so we want D40 here, which is one of my journals, this date, and I think I'm not using the right. It might not work because of my scenario. I think I updated it, but not in this specific file. Document number, it could be anything. I'll just use that. I think that's the only thing that I needed. I think my balancing accounts, I'm not sure this worked. Well, let's see. So that status column, it works. That status column essentially is where we inserted the writeback journal function. And this function can be inserted in that template, that writeback template that we have here that I'm showing you, or it can be inserted in every other template of your that you may have created. So you can think of scenarios where you've got calculations based on actual data you're extracting from BC, and that generates a range of journal entries. You can think of scenarios like allocations of dimensions. There's a range of scenario of things that you can automate with the writeback journal function from a financial perspective. So let's quickly jump to BC and see if we can see those transactions in the default journal. And they should be all here, some of them, right? What was the document number? It's there, those last three. Okay, so those last three transactions are exactly what I created with those three dimensions there. Okay, the next example, the next thing I wanted to show you with writeback is budget writeback. So Velixo support that very same concept of journal writeback, but for budget writeback as well. So I'm just going to show you with this example there. This example is actually one of our pre-built templates that you can download as a customer. So let's go with so this is an existing budget that I have here. And as you can see, it's got data in that column. So it's returning data for that budget. Let's go and create a CRT Insights budget. Okay, let's do 31. CRT Insight 1. Because I think we're limited to 10 characters in BC. So that column is now empty. And what I want to show you with this template are a couple of things. First, that it's a pre-built template. Secondly, I want to show you the BC budget writeback templates. And also, that template is great because this is an example of mixing querying data from BC and pushing data back to BC. So in that example, we are querying the GL. So we want to create a budget for 2024. So we extract actuals data from the previous year, so 2003. And in that template, we configured it in a way that we let the users control how much they want to increase their prior year actuals to come up with their budget. So based on prior year actuals, and then how to allocate that data across months across periods of the financial year. So you could select a weighted allocation. As you can see, that data here is different depending on the period. So you would look at the weights of the actual data of the previous year. You can choose equal allocation. Those numbers will be the same there. Or you can choose manual allocation, in which case you would manually enter those amounts there, making it extremely flexible and error-free as well, because we would give you the sum of the manually input amounts as a way to make sure that you've got the same distributed amount. But you can also insert line descriptions and memos, and also create budgets by dimensions. So you'd specify which budget dimension apply to your busy instance, in addition to the global dimensions. So well, let's go ahead. Let's change that to maybe 25, 5%, and 5% there. So forecasting revenue is 374,646 versus 322,000 of actual in 2023. Let's jump back to BC in the budget there and make sure we don't have a CRT. There's no CRT Insight budget there. So our function will create the new budget in addition to creating all of the entries in that budget. So it's going to understand that the budget doesn't exist. We want to create that. And if the budget exists, it would also be able to update it. Okay, so let's go ahead and using that button there, click current sheet to upload the distributed amounts in that new CRT Insight 1. It will take a couple of seconds and it's just finished. And it was just refreshing actuals. If we give it another refresh, then we should see actual budget data in that column there, meaning that the data is actually inside BC. Give it a few more seconds. There you go. The data is in there, and we want to also check that it created that new budget in BC. So this is it. And we can see all of the data in there. Some of my revenue accounts would be somewhere. That's showing 2025, that's why. My filters are wrong. So if I select all, I would be able to see the new data. Beautiful. So going back to my example, the last thing I want to show you before handing over to Tony for a few more slides are the tools in our product. And also, I wanted to talk a little bit about the roadmap of Velixo and say that, you know, those two write-back functions, journal and budget, in about a month or so time, because Velixo is a modern add-in, as I said, and we have monthly updates. So we can add new features every month for you in a very transparent way, and the product would automatically update without you having to install anything. You don't have to think about the new updates. They will not be intrusive or change your reports as well. One of the next big features that we will introduce is the universal write-back feature. And universal write-back will let you write back to every single endpoint or object of Business Central and not just journal transaction or budget. So that will be a big delivery that we will enable very soon. Okay, the tools that I wanted to show you are distribution lists. So a distribution list would be those three buttons at the top. And if you click new list, it would create this template here where you can reference specific tabs of your workbook. So for example, budget write-back, profit and loss, and say, I want to generate those sheets as an Excel file without Velixo formulas. So we'll make that file available to non-Velixo users this way, with Velixo formulas, but without any kind of formulas from Excel, or generate the file in PDF. So I've got this example here. I will press distribute, and it will create those two files in my local folder here. This is it could be anything. It could be a SharePoint path as well to make it more useful. It could be a way to create history for your reports. It's a very cool use case, this one. And optionally, you could also use the distribution list to email those reports to specific users of your organizations, even those that do not use Velixo, or even external users of the application. You would also be able to add a new column in that sheet and filter those reports by specific data. For example, it could be that you'd filter by area for the audience that you want to send that to. So let's go back to my PC. I will go here, Velixo demo, and I will delete that to show you that we can generate those files. And I'll go distribute all, which will recreate those files. So it's refreshing those reports as well to make sure that it creates the absolute latest version of the reports. And then very soon, I should be able to see some files in my folder. Okay, maybe where it's going. I'll just talk to the next features, the next tools that we have, in the hope that it will come back to life. We've got a feature named hide zero rows. So if you have a dynamic range of accounts, for example, and your actual data are not returning anything, or there's no data against accounts or subcategories, you can filter that dynamically and automatically. This is very useful if you select a month with no data and you don't want to see empty rows or empty columns. We've got the snapshot feature. The snapshot feature will open the side panel of Velixo and let you create a copy of a file, such as a PDF. It's very useful to do that without to use that feature without using distribution list. And we have lastly the freeze and slice features. Freeze will let you freeze the data so that you can share a report with someone, that someone may be entering new data. Even if they don't have a license of Velixo, they can input any data and the data would not refresh automatically. So very useful for budgeting or for forecasting. When you want to freeze the data, you don't want the data to be updated while you're doing your forecasting exercise. Slice is a way to generate new sheets from existing ones filtered by a set of data. So I could have sliced my profit and loss statement that you saw earlier and say, create a copy of that statement in PDF for area 10, 30, 70 across my small, medium, and large customer groups. And then it would spit out the combination of those 6 dimension values in a new workbook with one sheet for every combination, and would only return the sheets with data. Okay, I will go back to my slides now and over to Tony to cover the end of that presentation, which are only just a few slides, and then we'll give you your time back for the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Damien. Yes, I'm sure you'll all agree that we are excited by what Damien has showed us. So many amazing features that we're able to see in our session today, including all of those write back features. So just a short summary on those top features that set us apart from other tools out there, and certainly from a VC perspective, what you might be using or have come across. As Damien was showing, a real-time Excel first experience. You're inside Excel, able to use all of the powerful capabilities of Excel together with Velixo accessing your BC data. So, this is very valuable for finance people, but also for those operational people who need to get access to information and are comfortable doing that in Excel. We talked about multi-company consolidations. So we're unlocking the ability for you to bring all of that data into single worksheets by being able to connect to those multiple environments or tenants from within the Velixo connection manager. So this is going to help you with those very seamlessly then doing those consolidation that you need to. The ability to do our write-backs is going to save customers lots of manual work and streamline your processes and workflow that you have. So if you're already working on budgets and you're working on those, calculations in Excel, rather than manually going to the ERP and keying in all that data, just using the write-back is going to be, 2 clicks and it will be seamlessly integrated. And then finally, we talk about ease of use. So you're in a platform, you don't need IT, you don't need to go through an expensive project to get what you need. You can simply build it out and keep using it. So those are the key features that set us apart. Excellent. So we just wanted to cover off today how we're going to sell our solution and essentially offer you some initial pricing in the market. So please work with your partner CRT Insights on any quoting or any further information you need. But as you can see on the slide, we sell Velixo in 3 kind of bands. The first one is what we call essentials for 2 users. The next one is professional license for a 10-user company, and then premium is up to 20 users. As you can see, some of the highlighted, features are what sets these bands apart. So if you are looking for some of the write-back functionality and journals to be able to push those things from Excel back into BC, then you would need to start at the professional, and then universal write-back, which Damien mentioned, will allow you to push data into any of those objects or tables, is still coming. So as you can see on the final slide, we're actually offering a limited time, the premium license for the professional price. So that being the distinguishing there of that option. So please talk to, Dick and the team if you are interested in a quote or if you have any other questions. And just thank you so much for your time today. Reach out to us. Our website is full of lots of great case studies if you want to go and have further information. Thank you, Chloe, and back to you.
Thank you, Tony and Damien, for the insightful session, and thank you everyone for taking the time to join us today. We hope you found this session valuable.